In this practice, you will use a shared drawing and create an overlay trace. You will use the trace tool within Autodesk AutoCAD web app to make multiple markups. Finally, you will display the shared drawing trace markup in the AutoCAD software where you can respond to any changes from the trace. You have a shared drawing, Edition-A, already open in the Autodesk AutoCAD web app. Note that there are markups already added to the drawing from Practice A1 Shared Drawings. In the Autodesk AutoCAD web app, in the Palettes bar, click Layers. Above the Layers list, click Create Layer to create a new layer. Change the name to Trace. Select its color block and select the color yellow. Zoom in on the area of the kitchen. In the Palettes bar, click Traces. If this is your first time using this command, there is no trace available in the list. Click New Trace. Your drawing window displays in the trace mode with a trace overlay, light shading, window added on the top of the drawing, and a new trace with its information displayed in the Trace panel. Near the top of the drawing window, expand the Layers drop-down list and select the Layer Trace to make it the current layer. In the Toolbars area, in the Annotate tab, click Measure. In the Measure command line, select Distance. Measure and note the length of the wall along the left side of the sink kitchen counter. In similar fashion, measure and note the width of this wall. In the Toolbar area, in the Draw tab, click Rectangle. Along the right side of the sink kitchen counter, draw a rectangle of the width and length that were noted on the left side of the wall, 4.5 and 2 feet 6.5 inches. Enter the width value and then use Tab to enter the length value. In the Toolbar area, in the Annotate tab, click Revision Cloud. In the command line, select the rectangle option. Click and drag to place a cloud around the stud wall. In the Toolbar area, in the Annotate tab, click mText. In the drawing window, click 2 points near the cloud to create a text box. For the height, enter a value of 3, and in the text box, enter the text Add Stud Wall. Click the check mark to place the text. In the Toolbar area, in the Annotate tab, click Dimension. Let's add a dimension. Click the check mark in the trace bar near the top of the trace window. Note that you are not in trace mode and all the trace markups are not displayed. Your trace is saved as Trace 1 and listed in the Traces palette. In the Traces palette, click Trace 1 in the list. Note that you are in trace mode with your trace markups displayed in the drawing window. Click to exit trace mode. In the upper right corner of the AutoCAD web app window, click Save As. In the Save As dialog box, create a new folder and save Edition-A on the cloud. In your AutoCAD desktop software, in the Quick Access toolbar, click Open from the web and mobile. Open Edition-A drawing from the cloud. Note that the changes, markups that were created in a shared drawing magenta cloud, and the text and rotated ducts are displayed. In the Collaborate tab Traces panel, click Traces palette. It opens the Traces palette and Trace 1 displays in the list. In the Traces palette, click on Trace 1 and note that the drawing window is in the trace mode, with the trace displayed yellow color markups. Note that the background color in the drawing window is changed to gray for the yellow markups to become visible. Review the markup that asks you to add the stud wall. Also, zoom in and check the dimensions and note them down. In the Trace toolbar, switch between Trace Edit and Trace View to toggle whether you are adding geometry to the trace or modifying the drawing itself. While in Trace Edit mode, at the command line, enter the Trace Fade Control System variable and reduce the fade to 10 to see the drawing geometry more clearly. At the command line, enter the Trace Fade Control System variable and change the fade value to 90. Change it back to 10 and note how the trace visibility changes and how the 10 value makes the trace more clear. Once done reviewing, in the Trace toolbar, click Close Trace. Save and close the drawing.